We got Craig Jones. After the controversial ending to CJI 2, he's announced he's paying Team New Wave $1 million in a consolation prize for losing. There's quite a bit to this, actually. The donor, the millionaire backer, probably the billionaire backer, spoke out, and it seems like he's the one who kind of got the ball rolling on giving New Wave the consolation prize, if you will, or basically like the winning prize anyway, like just doubling up on the winning prize. With it being a draw, the tiebreaker essentially goes to the last winner, right? The person who won the final match, which I called last night. I said that's kind of odd, for a team format to go with the final winner is kind of weird. Like I would go for the majority of matches for a team format. What team won the most matches? If it all got tallied up the same, what team had the majority of the wins? That's what I said last night. I'm standing by that pretty much. Like I'm not gonna go off that. I think that makes more sense. However, that's what the result was. The last match victor is the tiebreaker. So B team won, and I'm bringing this up because obviously Gordon Ryan was pissed. And if you're coming over from last night's stream, you already know we kind of read some of this, but he has more statements. So this was the first one he put. Corruption at its finest, not surprised at all. Making up rules on the spot is always a good way to guarantee your team wins. And then he wrote this long ass paragraph. Like I said, the entire reason I didn't take part in this event in any way, shape, or form was because I knew that the team competing in the tournament also picked everything from judges to production to commentators and would be corrupt. I knew the corruption from start to finish would be remarkable, and Mr. Nice Guy, Crooked Craig, would do anything to ensure we lose. Here is the contract that the event's athletes signed, showing clearly that in the event of 5 eliminations, the winning team would be determined by whichever team won more bouts. Which we did, as clearly seen on slide 4, which is a photo of the judges' scorecards. The contract and the rules we played by and prepared for clearly stated that in the event of 5 eliminations, the winning team is the team with 3 of 5 winning athletes. The rule of last match win was nowhere in the event's athletes' agreements and was made up in order to fuck us out of a win we deserved. After stacking the brackets against us and making BS tap calls, in addition, giving Nikki Fraud a 10-8 round for a single guard pass and holding a body lock for 2 minutes, only to give Dorian a 10-9 round after passing multiple times and literally surfing his knee on his opponent's face, is nothing short of comical. I knew from day one that there would be nothing but corruption, and per usual I was correct. There is nothing to do now, as the history books will only show winners and losers. But let it be known that per the rules, all of the event's athletes contractually agreed upon we won the event. I hurt for the guys who gave it their all and were optimistic it would be fair. They are the ones who my heart hurts for. As for everyone asking why I wasn't involved, I didn't want to be part of the circus, as I'm not a clown. Okay? Quite the statement. I do want to address something in the statement, though, because we're talking about this 10-8 round, and what I hate is when people try to get things by and it's not being genuine, and obviously Gordon was genuine in this, except for this one part where he says, in addition, giving Nikki Fraud a 10-8 round for a single guard pass and holding a body lock for 2 minutes, only to give Dorian a 10-9 round after passing multiple times and literally surfing his knee on his opponent's face is nothing short of comical. So let's break that down. We've already broken this down on a previous stream, so I'll do this real quick. Nikki gets the 10-8 because he passed the guard, he took down Luke Griffith. Not that the takedown really matters, but I mean it adds to the story. Took him down, passed the guard, and then Luke Griffith never recovered guard. So that's a 10-8 when somebody just mounts zero offense and 0 defense, right? It's essentially a 10-8. So if he would have recovered guard, if he would have threatened with anything but a buggy choke, like hey, what up just said, then maybe it would have been a 10-9. Because that's my argument for Ethan Krenlinston, where he says Dorian got a 10-9, and he's arguing that. Dorian got a 10-9 because Ethan was recovering guard. He recovered guard, and he threatened submissions from closed guard. Okay? So there's a huge difference there. And Ethan was trying, to mount some offense, some legit attempts, even though they weren't really close at all. He was trying legit attempts. You can't say the same. He tried more than a buggy choke, which I just said, right? If what's his name would have done anything other than a buggy choke, maybe I'll give him credit. Ethan did that. So obviously it's because like this is Gordon's team, and he probably just sees it with like a little bit of a biased eye. But as a non-biased, I'm telling you right now, Nikki did get a 10-8, and Dorian was deserving of a 10-9. And that's nothing against Dorian. Now here's what the rule states that Gordon posted. He goes, in the event of 5 double eliminations and no discrepancy in penalties between teams, the winner is the team that won more individual bouts based on judges' decisions according to scoring criteria. If there's a tie in individual bouts won, winning team determined based on judges' decision of team duel as a whole. But it's impossible if there's a tie in individual bouts won. I don't think that could ever happen. But keyword, the team that won more individual bouts based on judges' decisions according to scoring criteria. I mean, if this is true, scoring criteria, bouts will be judged. Okay, so that doesn't really matter. But then look at this. So this is something I'm picking up on. This is Gordon's little screenshot. And Gordon kind of like, I don't know, he left this bottom part, but he cut it off, which is kind of odd to me. Like, why not just cut it off right here above scoring criteria? Instead, like, he let it hang a little bit. And then, like, he cut, I don't know. So I don't know what's below this. That's my point. Maybe he cut out some important information I would have liked to see. Now, here is what the coach, basically the second head coach of B team had to say, Damian Anderson. He posted one, and look at the difference. Look at the difference in how these look, right? Look at the difference in how these look. So why are they sending out different forms? Everybody should have the same universal form, should they not? Right? Look at this one. The bullet points are synced up. Wait, hang on. So I don't know if this is a different part of the athlete agreement or if it's the same one or what, but just let's see what he says here. Damian says rules were given out way before the event. If 5 double and then his screenshot is if 5 double eliminations occur or any such instance where each team's final athletes are double eliminated, the team with more individual wins by judges' decision wins. If tied on scorecards, the team whose athlete won the final bout wins. If the final bout is a draw, the win goes to the team whose whose athlete last won a non-draw bout. So what's weird is that these rules contradict each other, right? And it goes, if tied on the scorecards, team whose athlete won the final bout wins, right? And then it goes, if 5 double eliminations occur. So now that we're reading keywords here, right? I mean, this is like dude, this just brought me back to high school. These stupid ass fucking like different sentences. So if tied on the scorecards, right? We're going to get to the bottom of this right now. If tied on the scorecards, the team whose athlete won the final bout wins. The scorecards were tied, correct? So just putting that out there. Now this is the same weird meaning. If 5 double eliminations occur, or any such instance where each team's final athletes are double eliminated, the team with more individual wins by judge's decision wins. So 5 double eliminations occurred and they were tied on the scorecards. So like, which one do you want to honor? Like, yes, right? Let's go like this. Yes, it was tied on the scorecards. It was tied on the scorecards. So you can go with the athlete who won the final bout. But yes, 5 double eliminations occurred and each team's final athletes were double eliminated. So you could go with this one too. It's just like, I think what the error here is like, the decisions as far as the scorecards go, and then the double eliminations are both being counted as like, how do I say this? They're counting double eliminations as like ties, right? So if 5 double eliminations occur, they're just counting that as ties. But really, double eliminations occur, and then the ensuing next step is to score the bout, right, for a winner. So this top one is a little bit more gray. Just to be real with you, I didn't come in here with any like preference, but this one's a little bit more gray because if five double eliminations occur, well, yes, five double eliminations occur, but per the rule set, then each bout got scored for a winner. So this one is kind of like an incomplete thing because it almost shouldn't be here. It almost shouldn't be here, this top one. Because you do go to tied on the scorecards. This is the official one because we had to go to scorecards, right? Like there would have never been an instance where double eliminations and no scorecards happened. So like, yes, there were double eliminations, but there were scorecards. So the team whose athlete won the final bout wins. That's a fucking tongue twister, bro. I realize that, but you know what I mean? These guys are splitting hairs. And then you got Gordon saying best is low IQ Z teamers are sharing rules not in the contracts that even contradict each other. So yes, they contradict each other. First to agree with that. Bullet point 1, New Wave wins. Bullet point 2, Z team wins. However, I would go with bullet point 2 since it said if tied on the scorecards. That's why I said this reminds me of fucking high school, bro, because like you would have to go through these answers and be like, what's the correct one? And they would do shit like, well, if 5 double eliminations occur, you know what I mean? That's not the end of it. The scorecards are the final result. So you got to go with this one. It's like they put a wrong answer in here, bro. They put a fucking wrong answer in the athlete agreement. That's crazy. It's like this was like a test for like, you know what I mean? The judges or something like that, so they know what to do in the case of any of these things, in the case of any of these hypotheticals. And they left one of the fucking wrong answers in here because this can't be it. 5 double eliminations occur because this is what I'm trying to say. If 5 double eliminations occur, right? And there was no draw, then the scorecards would have decided it, right? Because let's put it like this. Let's say 5 double eliminations occurred, right? And let's just call it like this. B team got 2 10-8 rounds. Well, then B team still would have won. B team still would have won because you go to the scorecards. So moving on, obviously Damian made a statement. 10-9 Mika, 10-9 Victor, 10-9 Giancarlo, 10-9 Dorian, 10-8 Nicky Rod. And he goes, rules were given out way before the event, and then this was the one he shared. My personal opinion, this one isn't right anyway. And listen, if the bottom one wasn't right, if these sentences were flipped, right, I would have to go with the top one. I would have to go with the top one if these first sentences were flipped here. But they're not. So now Craig came out and he said New Wave receiving 1 million USD too. Tagged John Donaher, and then Gordon said good and reversed the decision, you backwards F word. Okay? And I mean, I guess for the sake of the stream, let's just pull up X real quick. As far as why I'm pulling up X right now, it's because Craig is bringing out the 1 million because the donor came out and he said this. So the man who's providing the money, the cash money for the event, right? The anonymous CJI donor. Here's what he said. I'm the anonymous CJI donor. New Wave will get 1 million too. I am the anonymous CJI donor, and from my interpretation of the rules, New Wave should have won. I also thought they won on points, but I'm not a judge, and that's a separate discussion. I've asked Lachlan Giles to comment below to confirm that I'm the donor. In any case, I'm going to put up another million to pay New Wave. There was no bad intent from Craig, Seth, the judges, or anyone. It just went down in a effed up way, and the easiest way to make it right is to simply pay New Wave the 1 million that they deserve, so we'll make it right. Stay tuned. Here's what I have to say. I disagree with him. I think that the way it happened per what I just read off of what Damien showed. But then again, you know, I gotta keep it fair, right? And that's what Damien showed. He is more involved in the event than Gordon, right? So I think I will have to believe his paperwork.
47.
But it's just like Gordon has some good paperwork too, bro. I mean, you guys tell me, bro. These guys are splitting hairs. So I just want to put that out there. The donor is the one who's kind of getting Craig to fork up the money. The donor. He believes that New Wave should have won, and he believes they won on the scorecards. It's all good. That's his opinion.
Would get a score at the end, would be like, I don't know, 49-46 for Team A versus Team B.
Okay, so so that 10-9 is each match with no sub will be categorized by 10-9 or 10-8. At the end of it, they'll all be summed together, and then the team with the highest number will be the winner. Okay,
correct.
Understood.
Unless there's a
Submission.
draw as well. So submission wins if it's like 1-0 on submissions, 2-1 on submissions, like whatever, and so on. That's just a win. But if it's a draw, let's say on the points you have one sub versus one sub, you have technically 29-28, but there was a point deduction in one of the rounds, so you're at 28-28. Then the athlete that won the last bout takes it for the team, and it doesn't matter if it's a submission or if it's a score. So the last person that won a round wins it for the team. And if the last match was the one that was a draw, then it's the match previous to that. That's also specified in the document. Yeah.
It's just way overboard. I think just let them do jujitsu. If there's obvious stalling, yeah, it's obvious. But the angles and sitting up and you got to hold their hand and like that shit never works. That never works. That's a waste of time, in my opinion. And usually I wouldn't give a shit. I'd be like, whatever rules you're gonna do, I don't even care. Let's just do whatever rules. But there's so much money on the line. This is so huge. It's gonna be in an arena. I think it's gonna be chaotic. Like people are gonna be screaming like he wasn't holding his wrist. He's at a wrong. He's at the side angle. He's in supine. I don't even know what supine is. What is supine? Like right flat on your back or on your side? Are you like if you're like an open Z guard like this? Is this supine? When I'm on my side, if I'm on my side and I got my Z up, or supine just straight flat on your back? Who's gonna get penalized for that? Nobody's gonna get penalized for that. It's like we're wasting our time. Just let them do jujitsu.
So